Hey guys, welcome to the first sports video of the year. I'm Techno Tigre, and as you know, the NFL season is officially upon us. There was no preseason. Week 1 starts this week. We're going to get a really good lineup of games. I'm happy football is here. I've been waiting for this and hoping for this, and to be able to talk football again, I'm just feeling good. I got a lot of heat. A few weeks ago, a buddy of mine, he did some top 10 picks. I made some pretty wild accusations on some of my picks, but that's kind of what I do, man. I mean, I don't like to sit here and be the cookie cutter guy that says, the basic top 3 guys are going to be the top 3 guys every year. I like to look for those dark horses, as I like to call them, those wild picks, and and kind of just see how it goes. Last year, you guys saw I did about 2 weeks worth of videos, got kind of overwhelmed with work and wasn't able to keep up. I did do pretty well on my weekly picks of who was going to win and who was going to lose. Going forward, I want to make a lot more videos. As you guys can see, I'm in a brand new studio compared to last year, thanks to our producers and sponsors. I want to start off by picking the winners and losers of this week's games for week 1, and starting off with Thursday night football, Kansas City and Houston. I am a huge Chiefs fan, so spoilers, we got 2 great quarterbacks going at it in Arrowhead. I believe only about 20% of fans are going to be allowed in the stadiums this year. I don't know how that's going to affect home field advantage. I'm still going to walk out saying Kansas City wins this one. We don't really know how the players are going to do in week 1. Obviously, there was no preseason, so we didn't get to see practice of teams versus teams. It was mainly training camp. I mean, who knows? We may not even see these guys feeling good till week 2 or 4, maybe. But anyways, let's just kind of go through this, all right? So you got Seattle and Atlanta. To me, this is kind of a 50-50 split. But Seattle made some big pickups this offseason, so I got to go with my gut that tells me that Seattle is going to take the victory in week 1. And after the Seattle and Atlanta game, you have New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Here's the thing. I think the Jets are a building team. I don't think they're ready to be a winning team. I think Buffalo comes in and they win. I think Buffalo takes this one easy in Buffalo. After that, we got the Chicago Bears going up against the Detroit Lions. This one is a little bit on the tougher side for me, but I'm just going to go with Detroit at home. I still don't think Trubisky is a winning quarterback, and I think that is their Achilles heel on offense. Detroit, on the other hand, looking pretty good last year, kind of had some ups and downs. I really thought they were going to be a playoff team last year, so I'm going to take Lions at home as my pick for that game. So after that, looking at Green Bay going up against Minnesota, at Minnesota. Again, this one is a tough one for me, but I do know Green Bay's got a couple injuries coming into week 1, whereas the Vikings do not. And Vikings are at home, so I hate to say it for my Green Bay fans who love their Packers, but I'm going to take Minnesota at home. Following that, we have the Miami Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots. Obviously, the Patriots are without Tom Brady, no Gronk, obviously. And a lot of players on Bill Belichick's Patriots did opt out for COVID this year for their COVID reasons. But here's my bold prediction on this. I think Miami comes in. I think Miami wins. I think Miami goes to Gillette Stadium and kind of shocks the not superstar-filled New England Patriots. So after that game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on Washington. I would call them their name, but they still don't have one yet. This one's not really that tough for me. Alex Smith is not starting as much as I wanted him to, and I predicted him to be the starting quarterback week 1. But Kendall Fuller is doubtful. That's going to hurt Washington. Not that Washington is a Super Bowl contender this year, in my opinion. But I think Philadelphia walks away with this one easy. Moving on from the Philadelphia game, we come to the Las Vegas Raiders and Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go with Carolina Panthers, and I think C-Mac kind of runs all over the floor and walks away with 2 rushing touchdowns tomorrow, easy. Okay, and now we come to the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the thing. I'd like to see Gardner Minshew, kind of do well against a not so great passing defense that is the Colts. But Colts picked up, Phillip Rivers. They got Justin Houston. So I do think Indianapolis walks away with the dub. And of course, the last game of the morning to go over for Sunday is the Cleveland Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Cleveland has kind of let me down the last few years. The first year that John Dorsey got this team together, I was like, man, these guys are contenders to win their division. And I've kind of been let down time and time again when it comes to Cleveland. There's no question on this one. The Ravens walk out of it at home with the victory. Enough said. Moving on now to the afternoon games of the day. Starting off with the Los Angeles Chargers and Cincinnati Bengals. With this game, to me, it doesn't really matter. I don't think these teams are contenders this year. Not to say that Burrow is not a great quarterback, but I just don't see these teams being championship contender teams. This one's kind of a wash for me. But I'm gonna go with the unpopular vote and say Burrow gets a W on his, debut game, and Cincinnati walks away with it. I probably would say this would be my game to watch come Sunday, and that is Tampa Bay going up against New Orleans Saints. Obviously, a strong Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Thomas offense going up against Tom Brady, Gronk, Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. The only thing I see is that you got those big numbers. Mike Evans is questionable, but I'm guessing he's probably going to play. And it's tough, man. I think it's going to be the game to watch. I think that the Bucs are definitely going to be contenders this year, but I don't know if the Bucs have kind of got that level of sync yet against the Saints at home. I'm going to say New Orleans wins by a field goal. I think it's going to be close. I think Tom Brady's going to kind of get into a rhythm with his guys near the end of the game, but I think New Orleans kind of, barely steps out with the victory on that game. So the Arizona Cardinals are set to take on the 49ers. 49ers obviously coming off that loss from the Super Bowl. Very good team. I'm not saying they're a bad team at all. But Arizona made a lot of big moves in the offseason. They picked up DeAndre Hopkins. They picked up Devon Kennard. Call me crazy, but I'm going to go with a crazy thought here. And that's that Arizona is going to upset the Niners. This leads us into the Sunday night football game, the Dallas Cowboys versus the LA Rams. So the Cowboys are looking to make a stance against winning teams, not just losing teams this year. But I think Sean McVay and the LA Rams are going to look at last year as kind of like a learning point. And while some people are sitting here saying, Goff wasn't worth that money and the Rams are not that good, I think the Rams come out with the victory here. I'm sorry, Cowboys. I hate to do it to you, but, we them boys. Okay, so this leads us to the final two games of Week 1, Monday Night Football. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the New York Giants. This isn't really that big of a choice for me. I think the Giants are an okay team. Golden Tate, Golden Tate is questionable, but I think he's going to play. I think a lot of guys who are putting themselves as questionable, I think it's just a tactic. But, I still think Pittsburgh walks out of there with the Week 1 victory. I don't think it's that hard of a choice. And then that leads us to the final game of Monday Night Football, the Titans and the Broncos. Previously, I was going to say that the Denver Broncos were going to put up a good game against the Tennessee Titans, but I did read an article that said that Von Miller did hurt himself on the last play of practice. And to me, that's a big loss for Denver, especially with, Tennessee and their run game and the things that they do. So I got to say Tennessee's going to walk away with this one. That's a big hit for Denver. Hope Von Miller recovers at a speedy recovery. I do like him a lot as a player. But I mean, that's a hard hit for them. Okay, so those were my picks for Week 1. I feel pretty good about, my picks. But again, we didn't see a preseason, so we don't really know how these guys are going to come out and play. But if we just go based off of, all the practicing, all the news, and, kind of look at last year versus coming into this year, I think that's kind of how you have to look at Week 1. You got to look at everybody kind of getting the dust off them and kind of getting into the motion. So Week 1 could be crazy. We could see a lot of teams that nobody expected to win, and we could all, and at the same token, we could see the typical strong teams winning. Okay, so to recap, My week 1 picks, Thursday night, I have Kansas City taking it. Sunday morning, I have Seattle, Buffalo, Detroit, Minnesota, Miami, Philly, Carolina, Indianapolis, and Baltimore all winning the morning games. I got Cincinnati, New Orleans, and Arizona winning the afternoon games. Sunday night football is going to go to the Rams. And Monday night, I'm going with Pittsburgh and Tennessee. If you want to go ahead and post your picks for the week, go ahead and do so. We can keep track as the season progresses and see how we're doing. So with that, I've made my picks for the week. And as the season is about to begin, I'm going to make a loose pick for my Super Bowl prediction, Super Bowl 55. Again, this could change over the year, but just kind of going out the gate, I'm going to go ahead and go with Kansas City and Tampa Bay. And a lot of people would say maybe Kansas City and the Saints, or some people would say the Ravens and the Niners. A lot of good teams. I'll kind of make a video coming up soon of like my top overall picks, but I'm just going to go in and say, Tom Brady and Mahomes would be a really cool Super Bowl to see. I think both teams are going to be stacked this year, and I think that's a pretty good prediction. Okay, to recap this video, I started off with week 1 predictions, who I thought would win, who I thought would lose. I also have my upset of the week, kind of 2 of them if you really think about it, with Miami getting the W over New England and Arizona getting the W over San Francisco. My game of the week to watch is Tampa Bay and the Saints. I'll be watching that on Sunday. And I also went ahead and made my super early prediction of who is going to the Super Bowl. With that, again, just want to go over the fact that I do have a lot more videos coming this year. Not just sports videos, but also some gaming videos, as well as movie and TV critiques and reviews coming up with that as well. And be on the lookout for some other videos that I might be releasing this year, not just my weekly predictions, but also, maybe talk about my top 5 choices at positions, who's looking good and who isn't. Maybe we'll do some stat videos, some bold predictions on the year, kind of look at, rookie of the year, team of the year, all that good stuff is all coming. With that, if you guys liked the video today, make sure to hit that like button and also the follow or subscribe button on my YouTube channel. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, a couple other things. I'll put the links in the descriptions down below. I'm Techno Tigre. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.